Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Empowered with Gina podcast. Okay, so talk about goals and like who you want to be inspired by. Today, you're going to meet Dr. Yasmin Davidds, who is like a global phenomenon and a local Los Angeles leader, but someone who I need you to know and follow and learn from because she knows the way. So Dr. Davidds.
Wow, I should take you on the road with me to introduce me everywhere.
It's true, girl. It's true. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, I'm so happy. And we're dear friends through family for a while.
Many years.
And so thank you for your time and being here because I know how busy you are.
Thank you.
So I always ask my guests 3 adjectives to describe yourself.
First thing that came to me is powerful.
Yes.
Loving and caring.
Beautiful. Thank you.
I don't. Those 3 actually I had never used to describe before, but it's interesting because that's what came to me.
I love that. How did you grow up? Tell me about the young Yasmin. Who is she?
I actually grew up in a very dysfunctional family. At the age of 5, I found my life purpose, but it was because of trauma and abuse. My mother, immigrant from Mexico, my dad, immigrant from Ecuador, and came to the U.S. to build a better life for their future children. But my father was very abusive, very machista. And at the age of 5, I remember asking my mom, Mami, ¿por qué? Why? Why does daddy get to say things and you can't even respond? We couldn't even ask por qué because we get slapped. Like he was the king of the castle and we were just to listen. Sure. And she said, mijita, no sé el idioma. I don't know the language. I don't have any skills. Second, 3rd grade education. If this is just the way things are. And I said, oh no, mommy. When I grow up, I'm going to change the world and make it better for women. Don't ask me where I got my little guts from. I have no idea. I think my previous life, I don't know. But I remember making a choice that day.
No.
Yes, that I was not going to live that way and help other women. I couldn't save my mother at the age of 5, right, but I committed to saving other women. And from that age forward, I lived in my mind because that was my escape.
Okay, so that certainly came from somewhere because 5-year-olds don't typically think like that.
Yes.
And so you had that seed planted. What did you do? What was education like for you? And was it pushed in your house?
Yes. So my father was interesting because he was very much a machista, but he only had girls. And he said, I'm going to prepare you for men like me.
Okay.
I was like, okay. So he gave us the best education, went to Catholic school, went to an all-girl convent school, Ramona Convent.
Yeah.
And he was very much, you're going to college no matter what.
Interesting.
Because he said, no matter what, if anything happens, you can take your children and leave. You will never have to depend on a man.
What an interesting, wow.
Exactly. So he wanted us to prepare. So he knew who he was because he had 3 wives at one time. Oh. So he had a lot of different women, have brothers and sisters everywhere that I'm sure I don't even know.
So if you're out there.
And Cleveland Davidds from many years ago. So it was interesting. So people are multidimensional. So there was a lot of trauma, but I also have to thank him in many ways for the good that he taught me the value of education, value hard work, because he came with nothing, 3rd grade education, but he became a multi-million-dollar, at that time, an entrepreneur millionaire selling at the swap meets.
Really?
Yeah. So he, hard work, we would be at the swap meets at 5 a.m. every weekend since the age of 5 until I think 17. Weekends were the best days for work because that was at the swap meets that I think they're called something else now, but that's what the business is. And then he had like Radio Shacks and different Holiday Inns. And so he just kind of expanded. Okay. So with money came power, but that power was in a very abusive way within the family. Okay. And so at the age of 8, I remember telling my mom, Mommy, then we need to leave because it had gotten really bad. And she said, Mijita, your grandma told me as long as I was a good wife, that my husband would take care of me. But she never told me the price I had to pay. Whatever you do, don't be like me. Get an education. That was the day I decided I was going to get my doctorate at the age of 8. I didn't know what it was, but I said, I'm going to be the most educated Latina. And so it's no surprise that I ended up getting the highest level of education to ensure that I would be financially, not only stable, but independent. So everything I am today is because of everything I went through. But I've used it as strength and power to help other women because my father molested my sister. He was a physical abuser, emotional abuser, sexual abuser. So to me, that I'm not ashamed of that.
Right.
You know, if anything, I am proud of what my family and I have overcome.
Absolutely.
And so that's what I teach women. Don't ever be ashamed of what happened to you. Own it, use it as strength, and be proud of you. You're a survivor.
Oh my gosh. And truly the strength that comes out of it and facing that, like the bravery, if anything, for someone to look back at that and use it as firepower versus the regret, the shame, the embarrassment. I mean, you're a testament to that, right?
Yes, because shame is the most debilitating factor of someone's self-esteem. It's shame. And growing up with, we all have something we went through. My thing is own it. And so it doesn't matter whether it's within family or outside of family, whether it was an abusive relationship, whatever it was, own it, be a survivor of it, and use it as strength to help others.
Oh, fabulous. So then college, what was that like?
So college, I first started at San Diego State University.
Okay.
And then my dream school was USC. But because in high school, when I was in high school, my sister reported my father that had molested her to the authorities. And so they made my father leave. At that time, they didn't prosecute. At that time, they just made the parent leave. So my mom had a nervous breakdown and we became her parents.
And you're in college?
No, but I'm in high school.
Oh my God.
So let's just say high school years, I didn't do so well. And I wanted to go to USC, but I said, no, I need to go to San Diego State, then I'll transfer, which is what I did. I went to San Diego State for 3 years. Then I transferred to my dream school at USC. However, when I was at San Diego State my last semester, my father tried to kill us. I know, just when you think I've gone through enough.
Jesus. Okay.
He shot at us with the gun.
Really, truly tried to kill.
Like where there was like the gang squad, with helicopters, cops everywhere. They found
You're
him
how
hiding.
old?
Right now I'm 50. I'll be 54 more.
Okay.
This time,
Thank you.
At that time I was 20, 21.
Okay.
So
Jesus.
Fast forward, I went through post-traumatic stress disorder, a depression before I went to USC. I was suicidal at that time. I was just in a bad place. I had a chemical depression and I didn't even know what a chemical depression was. And so I got this letter. I had applied to USC before everything happened and said, you have a full ride, USC. So I was like, okay, I remember deciding like, God, please help me. Like I was debilitated. I couldn't get out of bed because of the depression. It physically affected me. So I thought I did something I never thought I would do. I said, I either kill myself or I find a way to get out of bed. So I called a friend who used to I knew they did methamphetamine because they would stay up all night, but they never offered me it because I was like the DARE program president. And so at that time, so I turned to methamphetamine and did my first line to be able to get out of bed. I never did it
to function.
Just to function. And so I started USC, getting out of bed with methamphetamine, going to class, working two jobs on campus, coming back home, doing another line to stay up and study. I did that every day for 11 months. And I felt like a fraud. Like people were like, you're so strong, such a powerful Latina. And I couldn't even get out of bed without it. So for the first year at USC, for the first year, I was just trying to get through and I was so ashamed, but nobody knew. But I was doing great. I was on the dean's list and I was doing so well, but it was all on this facade of strength, right? So I tried to look for help. No one would help me because I didn't have money. By this time, my dad left, had no money, didn't have insurance.
So you wanted to get off?
I wanted to get off, yes.
Okay.
So what happened was I negotiated with God at that time and I said, God, just take care of me and I'll get off of it during Christmas, which I tried to, Christmas vacation, but all the body aches and pain came back. Sure. So then I started looking for help, like suicidal hotlines. And they said they would talk to me for 30 minutes. And then they'd say, I went to social services. I'm going to graduate from USC. I just need a loan to go to rehab. And they're like, you're not pregnant. You're not under 18. We can't help you. And finally, the day that I was going to find a way to end it all, because it was so bad, I had a little Suzuki Samurai, the ones that used to flip. Yeah. I was on the 101 freeway and I was planning how I was going to make it flip so nobody would blame my mom. Because, el que dirán. And through my first miracle, I got off on Universal City Drive and drove to a payphone. At that time, there was payphones. And called suicidal hotline and said, sorry, disconnected to insufficient government funds. And I remember thinking, oh no, if I live, I'm going to change this. And I called a woman named Laura who had given me her number from the hotline I had called before. She goes, I'm not supposed to give you this, but I'm going to give it to you. If you ever need it, call me. I called her on a Thursday morning at 6 a.m. I said, Laura, I don't want to live anymore. I want to die. Please help me. And she said, yes. And she said, well, you don't know me. You talked to me once. And she said, I've been teaching yoga for 7 years every Thursday at 7 a.m. And my alarm clock didn't go off this morning. And I know I said it last night. And still get the chills because she saved my life. She took me to rehab. I was there for 30 days. Changed my life. Been clean now for over 30 years.
I mean, and that's all, folks. I mean, what?
Yeah, and I was at the age of 24. That's where I had gone through all that.
So you lived multiple lives up till 24.
Yes.
Traumatic,
Yes.
trauma, like the worst things we could think of people
Yes.
doing to each other in a family.
Yes.
And then you bring drugs in.
Yes.
But then you're also high achieving and you're brilliant, clearly, academically.
Yes.
Okay. Now, congratulations, first of all, on being
Thank you.
sober, because that's phenomenal. What happens? Do you see a light? Like, what happens when Laura introduces you to yoga and all that? What happens where you actually start transitioning and you're now in a place where you're like, okay, I'm coming out of this thing, this darkness. How, and I want to get to where you are today, like, because I know there's
Yes.
a lot that happened in
Yes.
between, but you have a leadership institute and it's
Yes.
global.
Yes.
How did that girl in her car at 24 wanting to flip that car, done, no other options, how do you now have a global leadership institute? Again, not dismissing anything you went through in between.
Yes.
What are the top 3 things you can advise to someone hearing this, identifies with your story? What were the 3 things in between that time that you can say have you where you are today?
I would say when I was in rehab, what happened was that when I went into rehab, I wanted to die.
Mm-hmm.
But in rehab, being in community helped me live.
Mm.
So we were in a 12-step program, and there was like 10 of us. And we were like everything from a billionaire CEO of a company to a homeless 16-year-old
Right.
heroin addict,
Yeah.
right? So it didn't even matter your status. And all it mattered is we were all there to heal, stay clean, and support each other. And when we had a purpose, and that was one another besides ourselves. And I realized that community saved my life.
Interesting.
So I made a choice there, and I said, whatever I do in the future, because I've always been very aspirational, like I'm going to own my own company since I was little. Because, so I said, whatever I do, whatever I plan, it's going to have to be in community because community saved my life.
Yeah.
Like something having to do, like I was trying to heal alone and it didn't have the effect that once I got into community. So I realized also that I had to stay focused. Like my mom at that time didn't believe in therapy, that I was selfish,
Sure.
all that, a lot of our Latino
yeah.
things. My sister, what kind of daughter
Nothing's
are you?
wrong with you.
Yeah, exactly. Get over it. No stuff. And I had to endure and be able to say, you know what, at the end of the day, I need to take care of me. And I'll go back and now take care of my mom, have been for like 30 years,
Sure.
financially, emotionally, everything. But I need to take care of me first.
That's right.
Or else I couldn't take care of anybody.
Yeah.
So I would say staying focused on making sure that I am okay, that I am the best version of myself so that I can provide to those that I love in the community and everybody else. So I would say that definitely one of the elements is stay true to yourself first.
Yeah.
Because you're not good for anyone if you're not well yourself. I would say find what works for you. For me, it was community. For me, it was anything I was going to build was going to be with community. And that's what drove me to build an institute. Because when I wrote my first book and I started speaking and going on stages, people were like, well, that's great. I had investors that wanted to blow me up like Oprah and all. And I was like, that's wonderful. But it was very lonely.
Yeah.
It was very lonely being on stage. And then after that, so I realized that I wanted to build with community. I wanted to see women go through a process of transformation and see them in the beginning and then see them at the end and then do it with other leadership advisors that are there, and we do it and watch them. And so that is such a fulfilling journey for me, which is why I don't do executive coaching. I don't do one-on-ones. Instead, I build cohorts of women that come together and we do it all together, and to see them, and then they have each other. Oh. And so it is the most powerful thing. They're friends and sisters for life. We call each other sisters. And
absolutely.
So I would say find what fills your soul, whatever that may be. For me, it was community. And so I built an institute around that. And then I also knew that a lot of women, because I'm partnered with USC Marshall School of Business, so our tuition is not cheap.
Right.
But I also knew that I wanted to offer this to women. Money should not be an issue of why.
Right.
Women couldn't afford it. So I created my own foundation and raised money to help women pay for their tuition to go through the program. So I'd say, a lot of people say, you got to pick one or the other. No, you can find a way. I mean, I've built my dream empire and still building it. But it's been over 18 years now that I've done it over time, and it didn't happen all at once. And it's still building now, and it's going to continue because now I'm developing AI tools that have to do with scaling what it is that we do. And it's just it's a never ending. You never get there,
right?
But you're happy where you're at because it's a journey.
That's right. I love that you said that because I agree with that. The success is not at the goal. Yes, fine when you accomplish the goal. I get there, it's a check mark. But for me, the success was the journey part of it, the 18 years for you.
Yes.
Right? It's like, I failed so much and got here. Like the failure, and I wanted to ask you about that because I love the word failure. The reason I'm successful is because I'm willing to fail more quickly and often than anyone else. And I don't see it as a bad thing. It's a data point.
No, I don't believe in failure.
Oh,
in general, I see it as a learning opportunity. My thing, it's, what did I learn from this? What did I learn I should do or shouldn't do? And people ask me all the time, if you can change one thing in your life, what would it be? I say, absolutely nothing. Because everything I've gone through has gotten me where I am today. And I love who I am today.
It's so good. So on that point, you're around a lot of women and you see a lot of trends, I would say, in how women talk to themselves and about themselves and how they think about themselves. What is one thing you would tell the women listening today or people listening today? What is one thing you see recurring that women can maybe be accountable for or start having a conversation with themselves about that you talk about in your institute?
Yes. One of the elements in our institute, that one of the policies that we have is no judging. You cannot judge another woman. If you do, you're asked to leave the program. We have removed women before because they can't help themselves.
Okay, so explain that. I love this.
So
I love this. No judgment. Who are we to judge anyone?
Yeah, it's a safe space. The moment you judge, it's no longer safe. And that's why we accomplish we have 100% transformation of the women by the time they graduate. That is because we have strict policies about what we bring in. We have to go through an interview process. And you have to be willing to be vulnerable. You have to be willing to not judge. And so they bring their A game of not judging if they want to stay in the program. And so the reason why is the moment someone judges, the safe space is gone and the transformation is gone.
Yeah.
I mean, it has to feel safe. So, and what we teach the women, and they go through what is called leadership crucibles, where they write down and they discuss probably the most painful experience they've been through in their childhood to be able to heal it, because it removes space to be able to fill in the best version of yourself that you want to be. Is that when you catch yourself judging other women, I tell women, ask yourself, what are you unhappy about? Because a happy woman does not judge another woman.
Ever.
There's no need. She's happy.
And she's happy for the other person.
Exactly.
Like, that's good for you.
It's someone who's not happy with themselves that judges. And the worst judgmental women are the ones that are the most judgmental of themselves. And if anything, I have empathy for them because I'm like, when I see someone really, I'm like, you must be in so much pain and you don't even realize, because you're externalizing that pain by judging someone else.
Absolutely.
So and they're like, oh, I never saw it that way. I said, yeah. So when other women judge you, have empathy for them.
Yes.
Because they're in a lot of pain. And if anything, go give them a hug.
Oh, it's something, and it's a game changer for them to do that.
Yes. And they're like, what the heck? But it changes them to see the world differently. And they no longer get intimidated by people once they graduate. They see themselves differently, other women differently, and the world differently.
That's phenomenal. And so how is this virtual? Like, how can women listening get involved?
Yes,
how does this work?
Virtual. We used to have it in person at USC until COVID.
Okay.
COVID hit and we were forced to go Zoom virtual. And I was my greatest barrier at that time. I said we could never do this virtual.
Really?
So I never even tried because I was convinced it was impossible. And we were forced to, and it was a game changer.
The best thing.
Yes, because now we're able to reach women all over the world when before we couldn't, because people would have to come to USC every month and that wasn't feasible. So we've kept it virtual because the impact, it's still 100% transformational. And it's if they just go to the dryasmininstitute.com, that they can find all the information there.
Yeah, we're going to put everything in the comments. So you are going to follow her. You're going to look into it, and you will sign up if you feel it speaks to you. And I know it will. So there you go. You're welcome. You're welcome in advance. So you help women elevate professionally and personally, and you give them the tools and skills to do that. Let's talk. You and I, when you got here, you walked in, and every time I see you, you're just put together. You're beautiful. Like, you take care of yourself clearly.
Yes.
You pay attention to detail, and you don't brush it aside. And we just talked about this before we started. Talk to me about why presentation is key, and why when you hear people say, oh, people shouldn't judge me by how I look, they should judge me by my brain or how I am. What do you think about that?
Well, shoulds are, yeah, but who lives by shoulds? I mean, the reality, it's like saying we should have equality, men and women. I mean, yeah, we should, but hello, welcome to the world we live in. And so this is the world we live in. Human beings automatically will judge someone between 3 and 7 seconds from the moment they see them. And it's not even a conscious judgment. It is a survival, because they feel, I mean, as human beings, we're always trying to protect ourselves in survival mode. That is a survival move. You got to watch your environment. Do they look safe or not? So it's automatic. So how you look, how you present yourself is key to how people are going to treat you, because they make a decision within 3 to 7 seconds about how they're going to treat you for the most part. And that is, are they going to see you as someone who's powerful? They're going to see you as someone who deserves the respect that they feel you deserve, or because a lot of people feel if you don't take care of yourself, why should I treat you better than you treat yourself, or something like that. So I say, for me, taking care of myself is vital. Like, how people say I wake up like this. I say, I don't wake up like this.
Hell no. Hell no. And it's okay to say, I don't wake up like this. It does take a process. Yes. I choose to put the work in.
Yes, I choose to. I have a personal trainer. I work out 3 to 4 times a week. I always have. I do my, 7-step ritual at night and in the morning. I mean, and the older we get, I'm going to turn 54, the more work it is, but it's worth it for me.
And stand by your age. See how she just said it?
I'm so proud of my age.
Not like, I'm turning 20 for the 3rd time, or whatever people say. What is that, by the way? I mean, I know it's conditioning in society. I'm 44. I stand by that.
Oh, yeah.
And I love how you and you didn't even make a thing of it.
But no, because every year I'm wiser.
Oh.
And I love that to me. I mean, no, I know I'm going to look good because I'm going to take care of myself. That's
okay. Period.
Yeah, I'm not apologizing for it or anything. To me, I love that. I mean, it's part of who I am. Yes. So to me, 1 year more is 1 year wiser. So that just means I have more to offer.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So what about the naysayers listening to you? Oh, but she's just lucky. She has gone through it. Now she is where she is. She doesn't understand where I am. It's not that easy for me.
See, I would say, given all the trauma I've been through, I mean, there was 3 of us, 3 girls. My 2 sisters have died. I'm the only girl left in the family. I mean, that's besides everything else. And my older sister just died 2 years ago. So you would think that I look like I'm depressed, like
a mess.
Yes. But to me, no, because I'm continuously healing. Emotionally.
And it's a choice.
And it's and it's work.
So you don't have some special power that someone watching doesn't have.
No, it's a choice. And that's what I tell people. It's always a choice. People say, well, why do you do it and not others? I said, I'm not ever going to judge people for not doing it, but it's a choice and it's not easy. It's work.
It's hard.
It's so much. I mean, it's work, it's commitment, it's staying true to processing whatever I'm feeling, staying with it, letting myself cry, letting myself go through, not trying to pretend that I'm not feeling certain things. But I know what happens after, and I know the freeing experience of how free I feel when I'm able to process something and let it go. And so commitment to your own personal healing is the greatest, I think, multiplier of health, emotionally, physical, how you look, because you can see when someone's carrying the weight of the world. Yeah. They feel heavy.
Yes.
And it's a heaviness, right? Versus someone who glows.
Yes.
And someone who walks into a room and they just bring a positive energy.
Yeah.
That's because they're cleansing always.
Interesting. So it's a choice. So people listening and just people you interact with know that people don't have special gifts that you don't have, or she doesn't have a superpower. It's a choice. You choose every morning you wake up.
Yes, every morning. Go. But it's become so part of who I am now, where, I say it in Spanish, soy de un rato. And what that means, I love to go out with my friends, but for a few hours, then I want to go back home to get my rest. Absolutely. I love my alone time. I love just me time. I love doing research on the internet, but so I like love that more than, and I love my friends and family, but only for a few. And then I have to go do my thing. I've always been like that. I've always kind of, but it nurtures me. It kind of fills my soul, and then I'm ready to go out to the world again.
So again, putting you first, focusing on your needs first. Not, just come out. You missed the last one. But aren't you going to show up? That's your best friend or your family. Why aren't you showing up? All the reasons people throw on us to put ourselves second.
Very healthy boundaries. Very healthy boundaries. Even I remember when I went through a divorce many years ago, my daughter was 3, and I told my mom and my sisters, whatever you do, you are not allowed to say one bad thing about her father in front of her, because no matter what, that's her father.
Yes.
If you do, you will no longer see.
Beautiful.
You would want your granddaughter or your niece. So they were like, and I was serious too.
Because they probably wanted a bad mouth.
Oh yeah, of course. Going through a divorce. So I tell women, you have the power to set those boundaries, but you have to follow through with them.
Yes.
The moment you don't, they're not going to take you serious.
At all.
And you have the right to, and you should, because you have the right to protect yourself and whatever it may be. So I have super healthy boundaries, but I've had to learn to create those because I also have fibromyalgia.
Add that to the list, okay? You think she has it easy.
Oh no, I have limited energy, so I have to plan my energy very strategic. And the people that are around me, I don't have any negative people around me at all. Ever. Unless like I just happen to bump into one.
Sure.
Right? But other than that, nobody in my space, because they deplete you of energy.
Sure do.
And I need to protect my energy. I also understand though that I do have my own business, so I create my own world. So I have the luxury of doing that. Correct. Not everybody does. But I tell women, if you're with the boss or coworkers that are toxic, you need to get out.
Thank you.
You need to leave.
Sitting there 3, 4, 5 years.
That's crazy.
I hate my job. They don't respect me. You have a choice.
Exactly.
But it's not that easy. There we go again.
Is. It's simple. It's not easy, but it's simple. Easy because it's courageous, right? And my friends, people already know me. You come to me with a problem. If you're ready for a solution, I'll help you. But do not come to me with the same problem over and over, because I'm not going to listen.
Same. I don't pity party here.
No.
Go to that other person, because I'm going to give it to you like it is.
Yes.
Do you want a hug or a solution?
Exactly.
That's all I can give you.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to commiserate in your misery.
Exactly.
No.
Because it doesn't help anyone.
And you're not a victim.
And I say, you have 5 minutes. We put a timer.
Oh, I haven't done that one yet.
5 minutes. Come on. Say what you want. Vent, cry, whatever.
Because you can figure it out.
Yeah.
You don't need more time than that.
No, 5 minutes to have your pity party.
Oh, yeah. Fine. Get it
5
out.
minutes. Get
Process
it out. And then let's take care of action. Yeah. Because I'm like, they're like, but I need to, 5 minutes. Here you go. Like, get it out. And then let's move to solution.
And if you know that relationship is not serving you, but I love him. But all the things people say to stay in these toxic ass dead end relationships, because they're afraid of being alone.
Yes.
They're afraid of the embarrassment.
Yes.
But we've been married and we have kids and we have this and we have dual income and we have all the things. This logic applies to that.
Yes. I've had to end relationships where I deeply loved the person, but I love me more.
No. And that's something we were not taught.
No.
Through our culture, through society, even today. People don't talk. Oh, I mean, I think people like you and I getting these conversations out are proof that you absolutely must love yourself first.
Yes.
Nothing else will work.
Exactly. You have to. If not, you will forever be feeling sorry for yourself, never be truly happy, never feel that you have a choice, never feel that you're living your best life. So you can have all that, but you have to make tough choices.
And what if people call you selfish, or people call other people that want to do this selfish? Oh, well, now you're selfish.
I'm okay with that, because I know I'm not. I know. I mean, if taking care of me is selfish, then that's what I'll be, because I know what I give to the world, and I know the value that I bring to people, and how much they're impacted and transformed, and how much they love me and what they're willing to do because I help them. That's all I need. That's all the proof I need. If anybody wants to call me selfish, they can call me selfish.
Yeah.
It doesn't bother me.
But again, they're judging you and they can't be very happy. So it goes back to what you said.
Exactly. Like what's
circle.
going on with you that you feel you need to judge someone and call them selfish. So I don't deal with it. I don't engage in it. I don't let them be.
Right. Okay. So as you can see, we can continue talking for days, and I would love to have you back and just break down the various parts. You're just,
because there's many.
There's many, and there's so much education in every part of it, the good, bad, and ugly of it, right?
Yes.
And that's just life you're living.
Yes.
And I'm so grateful that you are so vulnerable to the world and you stand by your life, you stand by your experience, and you're showing people how not to apologize for their life.
No.
We don't lead with an apology. What are we sorry for?
I'm not sorry for
Nothing.
anything. Not even what I went through, because it's made me who I am today.
Absolutely. And so I'm going to put the information on the caption below. Please do check out Dr. Yasmin's program. It is absolutely worth it. It's something you would want in your life as you're elevating and scaling and wanting that life you want to have. Any closing remarks, anything you want to leave people with?
I would say, especially during our times right now, kindness, graciousness, kindness. Be kind to others. People are in pain. Love them, and just be, when you're driving in the freeway, someone cuts you off, just know they're having a bad day. Don't make it worse for you. In other words, just be more gracious. I think we need it.
Yeah. I love that. Oh, I love it. And I love you. And
I love you
thank
too,
you for your time.
Of course.
And she's absolutely coming back. Don't worry. And I love you. And I can't wait to get your story out to the world. So thank you
for having me.
Thank you. Bye.